everyone. So I just wanted to stop by very quickly to discuss one of my guilty pleasures, Married at First Sight. So if you watch the show, then keep watching. Okay, so we are in season 11 in New Orleans. So the episodes are 2 hours now, which I'm like, that's a lot, like 8 to 10 during the week. But because I am so invested, I stay tuned. Um, but I'm sure part of the reason why it's now 2 hours instead of just one is because they have more couples. So this season there are 5 couples. So it's a lot going on. My favorites are Amelia and Bennett and no, woo, Woody and Amani. Okay, those are my favorite couples. Um, I really like Miles. Not too fond of Karen right now. Okay. Um, Brett and Olivia are wearing me out, and Henry and Christina. Okay, now clearly there is a drama dynamic to these pairings because I have no clue why Henry was chosen for the show. Like, seriously. I mean, he seems like, he may be a nice guy, but he just seems extremely socially awkward. And him having such heightened insecurity, I just think it's just not a good idea to match someone who has really intense insecurities on the show, because it's hard for someone to deal with someone who has major insecurities when they actually know the person. So when pairing someone with a stranger and then expecting them to help overcome or help their partner overcome all of these insecurities is a very mighty task to ask of someone, in my opinion. And like I said, just the fact that he's socially awkward, it's just like, dude, like, I don't know. And then Christina, I mean, she has her own issues, like the whole wedding scene. I was like, oh, hell no. Like, she was just a complete diva. And I was like, this is not going to go well. Like, it's like she wants things the way she wants it. I don't appreciate how she keeps um, kind of bringing up Henry's insecurities as though, that's going to help anything. I mean, it's really not. And I'm like, girl, you have your own issues. Like, you don't need to keep, trying to act like, oh, this is such a turn off for you that he's insecure and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I'm sure there are many things that are a turn off, you know, to him as well. Some of which he's expressed regarding her not being patient and things of that nature. So I'm like, look in the mirror before you keep, picking, digging at him. Then Olivia and Brett. I mean, Brett is definitely an acquired taste, don't get me wrong, but Olivia needs to get off of her high horse. Like, I'm just like, girl, like, instead of judging him and being critical of him for doing what most consider is the responsible thing, buying a house, things of that nature, and being more frugal because he's more focused on future than present. So he rather, put his money in places that will show a return on his investment, like purchasing a home, making improvements, things of that nature, opposed to, jet setting around the world and eating out all the time. And, those things are fine present moment, but future tense, will they really matter? So, I mean, you can't really fault him for living that way. And you would think, I guess, on paper, that they would probably be a good match because they're different in that way, and so maybe they can both kind of help each other meet in the middle a little more. Like I know in my marriage, we're similar. Like I'm very present oriented, like now, 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 and my husband is future oriented. So, you know, but I don't judge him or nag him for his decision to. I do nag him on stuff, but not. I don't nag him on the fact that he prefers to do things that will have more longer term results than present moment, because you need both. You do want to enjoy life, but you also want to make sure that you're not enjoying life too much, that you're not securing your future. So there definitely can be a balance there, and I think it would be possible for them to find that balance, but it seems like Olivia is so rigid, and it, um, like I said, I love Amelia and Bennett. I love their eccentricities, and they just really seem to vibe and get each other. And I love them. Bennett is great regarding giving advice. I thought with the things that he said to Henry were great. I'm like, shoot, he needs to be on the panel. So yeah, I like Bennett a lot. Miles and Woody and Amani, they had chemistry right off the bat, and I'm enjoying seeing their bond and love grow. The little things that they're having, the little tiffs they're having right now are things that I think can easily be overcome. So I'm definitely very confident that they will make it past the 8 weeks. Now, lastly, Karen and Miles. Okay. Yeah. This is the 11th season at Married at First Sight. So when you agree to go on the show, like, you know that you're going to marry someone at first sight. Like, that has already been established. Like I said, it's been several seasons. We're in the 11th season. Like, it's no surprise. It's not, they're saying that this is a different show, and then you show up and they're like, surprise, this is Married at First Sight. Like, no, that's not how they are recruiting. Like, I know, because they tried to recruit me, but I'm already married. So, but they definitely let you know that it's Married at First Sight. So it's like, you know what the show is. I understand that they recruit, so some people don't don't apply, they're recruited. I understand that, but you still have the choice to actually go through with it. Like, if they reached out to Karen and said, hey, would you be interested in this? She could have said no, or ignored them, or whatever, like I did. Like, I didn't even respond to the email that I got. It would have been very easy to do that, but she chose to go ahead, sign up for the show. Okay, she wants to keep bringing up. It kind of reminds me of Jeff D with him and Shawnice, how he kept saying, you're a stranger. Da, da, da. Okay, yeah, we know that. You chose to marry a stranger. Okay, so you don't need to keep telling her she's a stranger. So, like, with Karen, it's like she wants to keep saying, oh, I don't really take risks. I'm not a risk taker. Well, girl, you just signed up to get married at first sight. Like, that's a pretty big risk. Like, if you're someone who is, very stuck on your routine, and you like to stay in these lines, and you don't like to deviate outside of these lines, you probably shouldn't sign up for a show like this, because you definitely have to have some inkling of being okay with risk when you sign up for this show. Also, what I think with Karen is that I think that she is just used to toxic men, and so she really can't see past what she has grown accustomed to. And so she's not allowing herself to truly appreciate Miles for who he is, because she's just so used to being with men who dog her out. And so now that she actually has been paired with a man who actually seems to have integrity, who has character, who wants to have a long-term relationship with her, who's not going to have a side baby on her like what happened with her ex, and she's just like pushing away from that. And I think that that's the main issue, is that she's just used to such toxicity that she's kind of self-sabotaging. And I just appreciate Miles for being so patient. And I mean, I get that, she's concerned about him having depression and, that he's emotional, whatever. But I think that being emotional is not necessarily a bad thing. And I really don't like that she keeps kind of running with this narrative that as a man he shouldn't be emotional, because I think that's a big problem that we have as it is in the Black community, is expecting men to not show their emotions, and telling boys don't cry, and things of that nature. And so then you have the opposite, which comes from that, which is aggression, because they haven't properly dealt with their emotions in a healthy way. And so now that has turned to aggression. And so, that's something I think just in our community, we need to change that mindset, because we have a lot of boys that grow up to be men who don't know how to properly communicate, who don't know how to process their emotions, and then it ends up turning into something more negative because they weren't allowed to express themselves. And we really, that is something that is really, really, really bothering me about how she has responded to Miles, and also the comments that she has made. I just think that is something that we really have to get away from. So it has already been 13 minutes, so I am not going to ramble any further. Feel free to leave comments, and I'll definitely respond. And I'm looking forward to the new episode on